Hello and welcome to Yes, You Are Brave. This is a podcast where we are going to set off on a journey together to find and build our brave, where we explore all the ways that you have been brave and all the ways that you can be brave again. Because even though we may have forgotten or we may have fallen out of practice, we're all brave. And I'm on a mission to prove it and help you believe that yes, you are brave. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Yes, You Are Brave. I'm Pawnee, I'm your host, and I'm super excited that you're here. So this week, I want to talk about being brave enough to play at half speed. And what do I mean by that? So not too long ago, I was playing the piano. Now, I play the piano, I play okay. All right, let's be real. I don't play super well. I don't play anything super complicated. I play mostly hymns. Okay. But I was thinking about this experience of playing the piano and how I now play songs that I used to think were just way too hard or way too complicated. Mind you, I'm still just playing out of a hymn book, and they're not super complicated songs. But I was thinking about it and how it all changed a couple of years ago when I finally learned to be okay playing the songs slow. And I know this is probably something that people can relate to, especially people that are prone to impatience. But when I first started playing the piano, first of all, I didn't have a lot of formal training on the piano. My sister gave me some lessons, and then in one of my music classes in like junior high, I learned how to read notes, and that's basically all I really had until I took violin lessons as like a junior. But didn't really have a lot of training in the piano. So a lot of it has kind of been self-taught. And when I was young, I was trying to learn to play things like hymns and stuff like that mostly. And my parents really encouraged me to play. And there was even a time when my dad was paying me $5 for every hymn that I learned how to play out of the regular hymn book. And but there was a lot of hymns that I really liked that I just never played because honestly, I was frustrated that I couldn't play them as fast as they were supposed to be played. Now, they were hymns that were fast, upbeat, happy songs that I hated. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when people take a song and they slow it way down and they turn a happy, joyful song into a dirge. I hate it. Hate it. So when I first started playing, and even for a long time after, I wouldn't play these songs that I actually really love because I couldn't play them up to speed, and it drove me crazy. I would get frustrated because I would be trying to play them and I couldn't play them because I wasn't familiar enough with the notes or the key or whatever. And so I just didn't play them for a very, very long time. I didn't play a lot of these songs. I didn't even attempt a lot of these songs that I really love because I couldn't play them up to speed. Well, in the last couple of years, maybe I finally gained a little bit of patience and a little bit of wisdom in that if I wanted to play some of these songs, these more difficult songs, if I wanted to play some of these more difficult songs and these prettier songs, whatever, not necessarily prettier, but these other songs, I could. You know, it was just a couple years ago that I sat down and I actually played a song that I had always thought was too hard for some reason. And I sat down and I finally spent some time on it a couple years ago, and it really wasn't that hard. And there were a lot of other things, like there were certain keys that I just never attempted because I thought they were too hard. I realized a couple years ago that all of my limitations that I had in playing the piano, I put there. I put them all there, every single last one of them. And so I kind of want to talk today about being brave enough to play them at half speed, because this goes back to this tendency that some of us have to be perfectionists, right? I am a recovering perfectionist. I, for a long time, was like, I had a very much an all or nothing attitude about a lot of things. I'm learning to change and shift that into something more productive. But I think that that's something that a lot of us struggle with, is we We want to be able to do it right, and we want to be able to do it right the first time. And we don't want to have to put a lot of time into it. We don't want to have to put a lot of time in failing, I guess is the way to put it. We're afraid to play that song wrong. We're afraid to get it wrong. We're afraid to make it not for it to be less than what we want it to be. And I know, like I said, I'm one of those people. I absolutely despise when especially hymns at church get played super slow and turns a really happy, fun song into a dirge and just feels like you're at a funeral. I particularly hate it with Christmas songs, but that's a whole nother story. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about and to encourage you to slow down and to be okay with this idea of playing things or moving slower than you would like. And I'll be honest, this doesn't just apply to the piano. For me, it applies to so many, many parts of my life where I feel like I want it to be a certain way and I want it to be a certain way right now. And I tend to jump to wanting it to sound or be like the final picture that I have in my head, right? I want to be able to, that's what I want. And I am impatient, and so I jump straight to trying to play it like that instead of having to play it slow. And sometimes you have to, when you're playing the piano, you have to play it at half speed. Sometimes you have to play it at like a quarter of the speed that it's actually supposed to be played at, so that you can learn to get those fingers where they need to be and to become used to the key and all these things. And I think that kind of translates into anything that we do in life. We have to do it slowly first, right? Anytime we learn a new skill, we are so slow at first. And I feel like that can be so frustrating, to be slow at first, because we don't like to be slow at first, especially when we are learning skills maybe a little bit like when we're not super young and we're as an adult, we feel like maybe we should be better sooner or faster because we're an adult, and we don't like to fail at things, and we don't like to be slow at things. But being slow at something isn't necessarily being bad at something. And that, I think, is something to remember and to be aware of, is that just because we're going slowly doesn't mean we're not making progress, doesn't mean that things aren't going really well, and doesn't mean that we're not slowly getting to where we want to be. That being said, like I said, I was just playing the piano kind of before bed, and I played a couple of songs that just a couple years ago, I had never really attempted. Every once in a while, I would try the top hand, the top note on the top hand. But now I just played a song. Last song I played had 4 flats and is quite a difficult song. Now, am I playing it at the speed and with the flow that it really deserves? No, I'm not quite there yet, but I am playing close to speed, and I'm playing that song with 4 flats, and you can tell what it is, and it's still pretty, and it still has the qualities of that beautiful song, just a little bit slower than I would like it to be. So that is my simple challenge for you today, is to be okay going slow. Don't be afraid of going slow. Don't be afraid of making small progress, because progress is progress, and small steps will get you there faster than no steps. And that's, I think, the thing, is to make sure that you are moving, and don't be afraid of, what is the quote that says, don't be afraid of moving slow, be afraid of standing still. And I think that is a good reminder that we all need right now, is to just keep moving. Just keep moving, focus on progress, take the time to learn how to do it, to get it right, and slowly you'll get better and better at it, and you'll be able to play that song at 3/4 speed, and then you'll be able to play it at full speed and as fast as you want it to be, and that upbeat, peppy peppy speed or with the feeling that you want it to have, that is possible for you. It really is. It just takes some practice. And I know that that's hard. Coming from somebody who patience is a struggle for me, and it's something that I'm still constantly having to learn over and over and over again, how to be patient, mostly with myself. And that's the other thing that I would encourage you is in your attempts to be brave in slowing down is to be patient with yourself. You are amazing and awesome and wonderful, and I will say that all day, every day for you. But you are also just human, which means you don't do everything right the first time around, that you need practice to get things to be better, and you're not always going to win at first. And that's okay. That's totally 100% okay. It's fine to play slow at first and work your way up. It really, truly is. And I would encourage you to do that as much as possible in your hobbies, if you're a musician or whatever your hobbies may be, an artist, or you're learning new skills, be okay going slow as long as you keep going. That's my encouragement for you today, is to, whatever you do, keep going, keep playing, keep moving, and don't be afraid of moving slow. Just be afraid of standing still, because that's when things aren't really working for you, is when you're not moving at all. So you can do this. Whatever it is, you have the capability of learning how to do it. You can learn how to do anything. And honestly, at this point in history and time, you can learn pretty much anything from pretty much anywhere if you want it enough. There are so many ways to learn. There is endless ways to learn, and there's endless information available. You can do it. It may take you a little longer than you would like, but that doesn't mean you're not going to make progress and you're not going to do some beautiful, amazing, wonderful things. So take your time. Don't give up. Keep playing. Keep trying. And eventually it's going to be amazing and wonderful and exactly what you wanted it to be. But along the way, it's still going to be awesome, and it's still going to be wonderful, and it's still going to bring joy and a smile to those people around you. My sister loves when I play the piano, even though there's lots of mistakes and it's really slow. It doesn't change the fact that it brings music into the home, and that is what she loves. So remember that you're awesome and you're amazing and you're wonderful, and you can learn to do anything. You can, because you're awesome and you've got a fantastical brain that will help you learn anything. You just got to take it one little piece at a time, one note, one measure at a time, and you can do anything. I promise. You just have to be brave enough to play at half speed. Have a fantastical day.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed what you've heard today, please leave a review down below and share this with anyone that you feel like could use a little more brave in their life. And if you'd like to follow more of my journey to be brave, you can follow me on social media and link down below. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to be brave.